So hi, welcome to my booth. My name is Jera Brandvig. I'm from Seattle, Washington. I'm a mom of two boys. I'm also an author of two quilting books, and my books are Quiltizigo Made Modern, and my second book is Quiltizigo Made Vintage, and I'm currently working on a third book with C&T Publishing, which should be out next year. Yeah. And welcome to my cozy booth, and I'm so excited to be showing you all. This is my fifth collection for Lecien fabrics, and it's called Madame Fleur, and it will be available spring of next year. Yeah, so I think should I go ahead and start by showing the inspiration behind this collection?
Please.
Yeah, so this collection is very different from some of my other collections. I designed this collection during the fall, so autumn was definitely in my heart, as opposed to my other collections where I designed them in the summer, so you'll see like lots of fruits, and this was my collection before this. But it just has a different feel to it, and that the collection is probably the coziest, warmest, and most richest color palettes I've had. But one thing that I do try to keep consistent with all of my collections is just making sure that the colors are soft to look at and elegant as well. So a little bit behind the inspiration for this, I was inspired by a recent trip that I took to Victoria, Canada, which is just one ferry ride north of Seattle, Washington, which is where I'm from. And just looking at the beautiful Victorian architecture there, visiting Bushart Gardens. I did a visit to Craigdarroch Castle, and just like the culture of having high tea at the Empress Hotel. All of that really inspired the Victorian vintage vibes that you might see in this collection. Also, I wanted to show you guys real quick. So this is a beautiful Christmas stocking that my friend Dory Trapman from Instagram, she's at Red Feed Sack, made. And I don't know if you could zoom in, but so this collection is called Madame Fleur, and you'll see here there's a little corgi. So if any of you guys have ever followed me on social media, I'm at Quilting in the Rain, but I always posted pictures of my dog, Paige, and she was my little lady, my little flower, and she passed away last November, and so my little ode to Paige was I put her here in my fabric, and I really love this Christmas stocking that Dory made because she fussy cut it right there and it shows Paige. You can also find Paige in the selvage, if you can see that, in the selvage of my fabric. So yeah, and she was my little lady, my little flower, and this collection is called Madame Fleur, which means Madame Flower in French. Yeah, and so this tote bag was made by Anna Deneen. She's at My Wandering Path on Instagram. So gorgeous. It's a cute little caddy. And then, like I said, this was made by my friend Dory, and she hand quilted it. And Madame Fleur, it's very versatile collection. If you pull the greens and reds, it makes a beautiful Christmas collection as well. Kind of a Victorian Christmas. I think I can just go ahead and I could start showing you some of the projects.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so with every collection that I make for Lecien Fabrics, I always gift a free pattern. And this year is really special because I am gifting you all two free patterns. So, and the wonderful thing about these patterns is that they're printer friendly. So these patterns, they're not up yet, but they'll be available on Lecien's website, as well as my blog, quiltingintherain.com. And they're just these printer-friendly patterns that you could even package them up for your shop if you wanted to. But yeah, they're there for you to use. And so the first quilt here, this is the Madame Fleur pattern, is this quilt that you see here. And here I pulled there's a lot of colors in this collection. There's, I think, 7 different colors, but for this quilt, I pulled just 5 of the colors, and you can see how it kind of has I love this quilt so much. It fits perfectly on a queen-size bed, and it kind of has like a Christmassy feel to it, but because I added the pinks and purples, I think it makes it a quilt that could be year-round. And then the next pattern that I have for you all is my Bloomfield pattern, and this quilt is hanging right here. I don't know if you could capture it on the camera, but I do have some metallic gold in some of my prints. You can see it there. I love using metallic gold whenever I can. But this quilt's really fun because it's a quick block. It's actually pretty quick to make. It took me 2 days to make this. And and it uses all the colors from Madame Fleur. So there's 7 different colors, and you know, despite there being so many colors, I think it's still a very it's a really calm quilt to look at because the color palette's very soft. So yeah, these patterns will be available for you guys, and they'll be up shortly after market, and definitely by spring 2020 when the collection is out. And then I think I will just go ahead and give you a tour of my little booth. So I have here this lovely dress made by Dory Troutman at Red Feed Sack. And you can see here the toil and the print with Paige is in there in the collar. And so this color here, this is my first time I've ever used purple in a collection, but it's more of a mauve, kind of like almost gray. Like my son thinks it almost looks gray at times. So it's really an earthy, you know, more of a rich purple. We also have, so I'm obsessed with pin cushions, and I just love these pin cushions made by Lisa Garber. She's at the Curvy Quilter on Instagram, and she always makes these cute little cushions. So she's I call her the cathedral windowed queen.
Oh yeah.
I have this lovely quilt here made by Kristen Esser, and this is her own pattern. And she used the entire collection here as well. I think you took some pictures of it at the schoolhouse. So, and then here I have this beautiful log cabin quilt made by Dory at Red Feed Sack, Dory Troutman. And she used all the colors here as well. And, you know, like I said, there's 7 different colors in this collection, but I have a lot of blender colors, so it really just helps make the whole collection have a soft feel to it. And then we have the Christmas stockings, which I showed earlier, and then these gorgeous pillows. So this was also made by Kristen Esser, and she pulled some of the Christmas colors, so it makes kind of a fun, vintagey Christmas style pillow. And this one here was made by Anna Deneen. I believe it's a Schnibbles pattern, and she used all the colors as well. So Anna Deneen, she's at my Wandering Path. So, and I think that's everything in the booth. So thanks again, everyone, for touring my booth here at Market. And again, my name is Jera Brandvig. I design for Lecien Fabrics, and my collection, Madame Fleur, will be available at Fat Quarter Shop spring 2020.